All right. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you taking time again today. It is now Tuesday, the 24th of March. We're sitting around 10:15 in the morning and kind of wanted to get through Monday to see where things land because Monday's a big day for the market. And so wanted to talk about a few different things where the market is kind of adapting. So the Fed announced that they're purchasing unlimited mortgage-backed securities. So I wanted you to talk a little bit on that.
Yeah, so last week they came out and they said, they're going to do a stimulus and purchase $700 billion stimulus to kind of, calm rates down and everything. And that didn't really work. And we saw rates just skyrocket last week. And what they came out with now is saying, hey, okay, we realize it's going to take more than that. We don't know how much more. We have a checkbook, an open checkbook. We'll do whatever we need to do. And that's put some relief on it. And we've seen rates come back as much as they went up last week. This is, they've been on a roller coaster. This is the part where your hands are in the air and you're like, woo, we're having fun. Rates are going back down. So right now, at least for the time being, we're back close to where we were a couple of weeks ago at all-time lows. So, it's a good opportunity. If you were looking to refinance and thought you missed your opportunity, it's there again. And if you were looking to purchase and you're still looking to purchase, it's still a good opportunity and you have good buying power right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just 100% good news there. Appraisal. So one of the things that we're seeing is that certain counties are locking down. So Dallas County locked down a couple days ago, and what they're saying is that only essential businesses can be out operating. Essential businesses do not include real estate agents. It does not include appraisals, and it does not include inspectors at this moment. And so I wanted to talk about, so on your side of things, the appraisal industry is kind of adapting to what the market is doing. Can you talk a little bit about what is going on there?
Yeah, so Fannie and Freddie are coming out with some guidelines, and they haven't been fully rolled out yet. But from what I'm seeing is, in the past, we could do, if somebody had, quite a bit of equity, like more than 20% equity in the house, and they were either refinancing or they were doing a purchase, they had good credit. It was a good clean file. We would get what was called an appraisal waiver. We run everything through an automated underwriting system, and it comes back, and they've got their tools on the back end that say, based on this property address and the value that we're using, and when we're running it through, we're comfortable with that. We don't actually need an appraisal. But that was very strict, and it was a very few deals that could get done that way. Well, now they're loosening that up a little bit, and in the past we couldn't do it for cash out refinances. Now it looks like we might do it for cash out refinances that maybe have, less than a 70% loan to value, meaning you have at least 30% equity. We may not have to get an appraisal. On a purchase or a rate term refinance, we might be able to go up to a 90% loan to value. So that increases things. And so they're trying to say, all right, do we really need an appraisal on this? Maybe they're going to loosen up those guidelines a little bit and say, no, we're not even going to bother with an appraisal. On the other side, they may be coming out with some more tools to say, you know what, we may not need to actually go inside this house. We're just going to drive by. We're going to take pictures. We'll look at the comps, and we'll make our decision based on that. Because I have had quite a few clients saying, hey, I don't really want somebody I don't know coming into my house, which is totally understandable in these circumstances. So I think we're trying to kind of guard against that. So they're in the process of rolling all that out right now. So maybe later this week we can have an update on that. But there's definitely some things in the works to help with that aspect of it.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, and that's interesting to see because that's something that could change with the industry permanently, in my opinion, is something that, because it's saving time, it's saving, I think the industry will be permanently changed from this. In my opinion, a positive way. Yes, we're going to have some tough time and we're all going to get through it and we're all going to be stronger for it, but the industry is adapting quicker than it has otherwise because we're being forced to be in this more technological world, which is exciting for me. Like you and I would typically meet, stand in front of the same camera, but now we're doing a recorded Zoom call to do essentially the same thing. And that, that also saves us time with travel and all that stuff. So I think that'll be interesting to see because they're going to be able to prove, is this working, is it not working, and possibly do that, long term. So that's really cool. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, so Texas is, with what's going on in Texas, in North Texas specifically, Texas is not really an early adopter to anything, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is I've been tracking what is going on throughout the country. I've been tracking other states. I've been tracking other large metropolitan areas to understand what restrictions are being placed on the area and how those agents are adapting to what's going on. And so there are some areas like California, for example, and I was looking into this well before Dallas, days before Dallas shut down. But I was looking at California, for example, they shut down. Real estate agents are they're basically non-essential. So all in-person business is closed. Now you can work remotely. You can sell houses virtually, but you can't go to a house to do a virtual tour. You can't show a house. You can't do any of that. You have to stay in your house. Places like Las Vegas, places like Florida, Arizona, Utah, those all places, they have some of a lockdown, but the agents are still out operating and selling real estate. So I've been keeping track of that because since I know Texas isn't really an early adopter to that kind of stuff, I know how are these different areas, how is California adapting? How is Utah adapting? How is Arizona adapting? How's Florida adapting? And I can go, what are the agents there doing to continue to sell houses and purchase houses and keep the real estate market moving forward? And so I don't know where I was going with that, but I think it's important to, it's just been a crazy week and it's Tuesday. I just think it's, and the other thing is Collin County, I think they're live as we are speaking to talk about what Collin County is going to formally do. It could be a lockdown. It could be a mirroring what the governor of Texas has already done. I don't really know. I saw, little snippets of it, but I can't really speak to it yet because I really need to go through it and understand what restrictions they're putting on Collin County. But for example, Dallas County, if you're a real estate agent that works, for example, if you're a real estate agent that lives in Dallas County and you do all your business in Collin County, you cannot leave Dallas County.
Right.
If you're a real estate agent that lives in Collin County and does all your business in Dallas County, you cannot go into Dallas County. So for example, like me, we're spending a ton of time at home. I haven't seen like a person for business in well over a week, but I have listings in Dallas County. We already have our virtual tours, photos, videos, stuff like that, but I can't go into Dallas County for anything with work. But I can, as of this moment, I can still work in Collin County. So it's kind of a weird thing. Even if you're in Dallas, you can't leave the county. So just kind of a weird spot. But so that's kind of what's going on in different areas and how agents are adapting to sell houses. Because I sell a house, at least one house every single year. And the buyer never sees the property in person until they close or they do an inspection. And so you can still sell houses it's just really hard. And so we've been trying to come up with other ways to keep the market moving and, help clients sell and buy. And we're going to be moving into an area where, some sellers are going to absolutely must sell. And we must be there to help them do that and to make sure that we can, assist them in the process of selling. So, what else do I want to do? Talked about Dallas County.
You're talking about changes that are going on that could be long-term changes. Another thing we're seeing is with title companies. So the title companies I'm dealing with, obviously refinancers are still kind of big right now, but at the same time, the clients are like, well, where are we closing? So what the title companies are doing, they're either doing notary closings. We'll send a notary to their house, so they don't have to leave their house. So that's an option. They're doing drive-by closings.
Yeah.
You can drive by in front of the title company. They will walk out with your documents, so you can take them in your car and sign them and bring them back.
Yeah.
And then I think you might even see a growth in the e-signatures of closing documents, which has been talked about for years, but we haven't really gotten there. There's a few people that do it from time to time, but I think you might see a more pressing issue to say, hey, we really need to do this now. And that could be a big game changer in this industry.
Yeah. And that's, I've seen some title companies just like you have. There's a few title companies out there that are offering a mobile closing, given the situation. But it's interesting because they're being forced into this situation. I think a lot of the resistance to the mobile closing is a lot of the regulations around just closing on a house. And so this is kind of forcing the regulations to move a lot quicker, in my opinion. And it's going to be interesting to be able to mobile close from like we're doing right now. I could
Right.
do a mobile closing and signing papers in front of a notary or closer from a title company or whatever, which is really interesting. I have we're closing on a property. Today's Tuesday. On Thursday, and my client is a first responder, and so she is that first line of defense. And so she's not going to the title company to close. We're taking precautions for a lot of reasons, because that's the world we're in at the moment. And the title company was a step ahead of me and a step ahead of her with what they were doing to handle that situation. And so it's going to be a super easy, a mobile closing notary kind of a deal. And that's the positive side, is because real estate can move slow sometimes with technology. Like, I think a lot of agents see technology and are like, ooh, that's a new shiny object. But at the end of the day, if the shiny object doesn't help you sell houses or help clients find houses, then it doesn't matter what that shiny object is. But there's a lot of technology that will enable us to do more business, more efficient business, be more effective, be more available like this. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited what it's going to do for the industry, overall with just technology. So let me see, what else do I have on here? Yeah, Richardson also announced some shutdowns. Right now, we don't have any properties. We have a property that borders Richardson, but we don't have any properties in Richardson right now. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and we have to adapt. And I think it's important to watch what others are doing and how they're adapting and how they're adjusting and what they're, how they're selling houses in this market. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what the market does, there will be people that absolutely must sell, and there will be people that absolutely must buy. And there's going to be a bunch of people that they're like, I have a 5% interest rate from a year and a half ago, and now I can't afford not to refinance.
Right.
Like, you look at the numbers, you're like, I can't afford not to do this. And so by opening up in a refi, you don't need an inspector. So it doesn't matter for an inspection. All you need is that appraisal, and you need that appraisal some of the time. And so
correct. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. There's still a lot of opportunities out there for people that really need to buy and need to sell.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
Cool. You have anything else?
Not today.
All right.
Tomorrow
We're open.
We'll have something else.
Yeah. We're open for business. And that's,
yes, sir.
That's the thing, is that, I've been talking to, we're in some pretty big networking groups across the country and really across the world with real estate. And we're seeing some real estate agents shutting down their business. They're, you need to stay home, you need to close your business. I'm like, you're insane. Like, why? You can't close your business. Now, 90% of my job can be done from my home. I'm in my studio right now, which is one of the bedrooms, and I can do 90% of my job from this location, as long as I have internet access and a phone number. And so I don't think a lot of agents realize that you can do a lot of things from from this spot, and you can as well.
Anytime you see some kind of slowdown or something in this business, you take it as an opportunity to grow your own business. Do the things you're not able to do when it's really busy, so that you're ready when it does get busy again. It's a great
absolutely
time.
Yeah. That's a funny thing, because I've done some coaching calls with newer agents last week, right when things started changing, and these new agents were panicking, and they were just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And I said, well, now you have a lot of time on your hands, and you can build your foundation of your company or your systems. And so, a buddy of mine, he goes, if there's anything that you do, anything you do more than once needs a system. And when we're in the business and we're running our business day to day, we forget that when we're running our business, we're doing the same thing over and over and over with different clients. We should build a system around that. And now's the time to do that. Now's the time to build that foundation, that structure for when the market, because for all I know, if a cure comes up tomorrow, this thing is going to disappear so fast. And the market is going to be a rocket ship. Now, I'm not an expert, so don't take that as, whoever's watching this is, I'm the expert in the economy and all that. But I mean, how can it not at that point? Once this thing disappears, the market's going to shoot up. And I think we're still in a spot where a lot of these small businesses are hanging on. And, I was talking to somebody, and they're like, what do you think the restaurant industry is going to do after this comes back on? I was like, it's going to blow up, because every single one of us, every restaurant that we want to go to is going to have like a 3-day wait. because every
Yeah.
single one of us, we're going to be going out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for weeks because we
It's
can't
just,
leave right now. We're eating our
we're
own
gonna have,
food.
yeah, we've got weeks of pent up demand. Everybody wants out of the house.
Yeah,
And
it's going to
what do
be
you do when you get out of the house? You spend money.
yeah, and so
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. And all it takes is a cure or whatever it is that the experts are working on. But once it happens, it's we're going to be back to maybe not normal, but we're going to be back to
yeah,
a really strong economy, in my opinion. So I'm
I
excited
think so
about that.
too.
So
Yep,
cool. All right, Michael, I
awesome.
appreciate your time, and
You got
we'll
it.
jump back on here as we have more information. So talk to you guys
All right.
later.
Thanks,
All right.
Jordan.